Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we are continuing our Lazy Plonk series and many people have been asking me to cover some new countries, and we have already covered big countries like Thailand and Indonesia, some smaller countries like Denmark and Italy. But people ask me to cover some really relevant countries, some very important countries that you encounter a lot on GeoGuessr. So today we are covering Vatican City, also known as the Holy See. And this country is very peculiar in the sense that it still doesn't have official Google Street View coverage, but we are expecting it like any day. Maybe like next week we will wake up and we will see that all the streets in Vatican are completely covered by Google. Hopefully that happens sooner rather than later. And even though there is no official coverage, we have many photospheres, a great number of photospheres all over the country, so it's pretty well covered. And even though we see that the distribution is a bit uneven, any map creator will probably pick the spots in roughly equally distributed way, evenly distributed. In general, when you find yourself in Vatican while playing GeoGuessr, you can clearly distinguish several regions. Some people say there are three major regions. I kind of agree with them. So first of all, on the western side, there is this massive garden, and let's just illustrate how it looks like. Pretty much not many people, not many cars, just very nice gardens here. So it's, if you see some foliage, some trees, some grass, most likely you are in the western part. On the other hand, we see, let's check some other photospheres. St. Peter's Square, very urban, no trees, no greenery, no grass. So if you see something like that, if you see that you're surrounded by pillars, columns, and many statues, but you are outside, then probably you are in the eastern side of Vatican. And the third part, which is like the central, maybe slightly northern part, is the interiors of Vatican. If you find yourself inside the building, if you find very nicely decorated ceilings and walls and lots of writings in Latin, then probably you are inside and inside the palace. So you should probably hedge something around the like Palazzo Apostolico, maybe the Basilica, maybe the museums. So usually it's kind of clear in which part of Vatican you are. However, sometimes when you are playing maybe some short time controls, maybe you are playing no move, you don't have enough info, you still want to know where to send inside Vatican to guarantee maximum points. So we decided to apply our usual algorithms that you can check in our previous videos about, let's say, Indonesia or Thailand. And we tried to understand which points are the most optimal to send in solos and in duos while playing Vatican. So we obtained this amazing map. You can clearly see some outlines of fortifications and some streets and St. Peter's Square here. And then we just ran our algorithm the same way as usual. We select random points, and for each point we test it 5,000 times to see how many points can you guarantee if you plonk each particular point. So we were actually very successful with our algorithm. The solo point is pretty clear. If you want to maximize your outcome, you should probably just plonk exactly as shown on the picture, and I will show in a second where it is on the map. We were very satisfied with the outcome of this trial because this point actually guarantees roughly 4,999 points, sometimes even 5,000, depending on how lucky you are. So if you plonk this, you are pretty much guaranteed a perfect or an almost perfect score. So keep in mind that like this point is pretty good and pretty useful. So let's see where it is roughly on the map. So I zoomed in on roughly the location. Sadly, there is no good coverage of that exact point yet. because this point is misattributed, it teleports you somewhere else. This point is also very strange. So the best coverage is this photosphere, and I managed to open it, and this is a pretty nice location. And I'm pretty sure if we look at the bottom left, we will see how our guy is oriented, but I'm pretty sure that this is actually off. The compass is off in this photosphere, because if we use the basilica to orient ourselves, like this is the road. We want to kind of plonk in the middle of Via del Aquilone, and I'm pretty sure that based on the location of the basilica, this line of cars is actually where we want to go. I might be wrong though, I'm not an expert on Vatican, I'm still waiting for more official coverage and official metas for this country, but a rough estimate would be that you want to plonk somewhere in the middle of this road, and then you are pretty good in solos. In duos, of course, you have two plonks, you have two people guessing, so it's slightly better. This algorithm guarantees pretty much a 5k or an almost 5k every single time. So we see there is a little bit of a spread on the western plonk, but still they are pretty nicely clustered around at the same spot. So no worries about that. So let's analyze these 2 points. So first of all, yeah, we start with the northeastern point, and it's more to the east compared to the solo point, and what I found is more or less it lands right within this parking lot, and it's pretty easy to identify, so it's kind of useful point to remember. The parking lot in Vatican is where you go in duos. Unfortunately, all of these photospheres that we see here are misattributed. They're actually somewhere like inside the building. Just people who were uploading, they didn't specify precisely where the point should go. So instead, I managed to find, I think, like this photosphere. It gives us a pretty nice overview of that parking lot. So again, very memorable. A parking lot with a fountain in the middle, very easy to remember. Just try to plonk somewhere there. I think the southern part of the parking lot is where you want to plonk, so roughly around like this white car, and that's a perfect point. And now let's check the western point, and the coverage in the gardens is not yet so good, but I managed to find like probably the closest point to where you can plonk is this road like right here, and just remember that it's like next to Cappella di Santa Maria Madre della Famiglia, and this is how it looks like. Actually very beautiful. I enjoyed this location a lot. A very beautiful location in my opinion. And just remember, like, there is a rock formation and there is some beautiful building, and the road is slightly going uphill or like downhill depending on how you look, and some very nice trees. So again, very memorable location, and pretty easy to remember as well. Like, you go to the left of Basilica di San Pietro, you meet like the first big building, and then you plonk slightly to the left of it. I think the actual exact location of the optimal plonk would be somewhere on this like small passage or whatever, but I'm not sure that it's getting official Google coverage, or like, but still, as a plonk, as a hedge, you can just use this point. But overall, just remember this road. If you find yourself guessing for this road, that's pretty easy to memorize. It's just this location, very useful. And again, combined with the parking lot guess, it guarantees you an almost perfect score in GeoGuessr. So I hope this answers most of your questions, and now like it's much more clear how to play Vatican, because I know it is a very challenging country and not always obvious where to send, but hopefully this video was useful to you. And if you have any suggestions, any potential other countries that we can cover, please reach out to us, and we are always very open to suggestions, and we are happy to read all your comments. And I'll see you in the next video.